This is Salam Radio, Peterborough's Muslim community radio. Broadcasting on 106.2 FM and online.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening and welcome to the show. Tonight it's Wealth Made Simple. I'm in the driving seat tonight. I'm your host, Kieron Bateman, and I've got with me...
Shaz Nawaz.
Welcome back.
Thank you, good to be back.
Excellent. How was your trip?
Nice. Not long enough.
It's never long enough.
And warm.
And too much work.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah. As always, feel free to get in touch with the show. We'd love to hear from you. You can call us on 01733 602 133. You can text us on 07411 191 062. Or you can comment on any of our live streams on Facebook, YouTube, X, or Twitch. And we look forward to hearing from people in general. That'd be really nice, wouldn't it?
So, Mr. X is happy, isn't he?
Well, yeah, Mr. X is very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to post an opinion on that. I think it's...
It is what it is, isn't it?
It is what it is. I think if you take emotion out of the situation and you look at core competencies and core facts, you know, whether you agree with what was done and what has been said or not, he attempted to do everything he said he was going to do, which is unusual in a politician. And... you can't really argue with those sorts of things.
What we should do is do an episode on the parallels of the campaign and pick out business learnings. I think that'd be interesting.
Let's do that for next week.
Yeah, let's do that next week.
Let's do that for next week. Yeah. I will take a note. Bear with me.
Good,
bear with me, listeners.
You take your time, and while you do that, I will keep everybody occupied by trying to say something useful. For change. Well, I know. I think there are a lot of business because Trump uses his business experience in campaigning and also in marketing. And I'm not endorsing or agreeing or disagreeing. I'm not, you know, I don't obviously share our view on politics while on air.
No,
but we can find. You know, we say so many times, Kieron. Success leaves clues, doesn't it? Okay?
Yeah.
That campaign trail. Left clues.
Oh, many
and I
clues.
think it'd be very useful for people, especially from a marketing point of view, if nothing else. But there's other insights as well in terms of leadership and networking, connections, relationships, all that kind of stuff that we talk about on different and various episodes.
And he used them all very wisely.
Yeah.
And very effectively. But we will do a deep dive on that next week. So if you've got any thoughts, feel free to send them in to us because we'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be incredible.
100%.
But this week on Wealth Made Simple, we're going back to something we've discussed a number of times before in passing and a little bit in depth last week, and that was picking the right path for you. Because we've said it before, being poor is hard, no doubt. Being wealthy is hard.
It is.
You've got to put the work in to get there. You don't just wake up one morning and suddenly boom, you're there.
And then managing it, and then. Yeah, growing it if you want to grow it, sustaining it, all that,
all of that things. And with everything that's recently happened in this country, you start looking at where the costs are going, and the broken promises. Just saying, but ultimately, those costs will impact the wealthy. Those costs will impact the poor. They will impact the poor more than they impact the wealthy. And if you create a service or have a business that employs people and your costs have gone up, I saw someone we both know, they said their costs were going up by £80,000 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more than most people's salaries.
Mm-hmm.
But they're prepared to absorb that cost because their business is big enough to absorb. Not all businesses are big enough to absorb it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not, then that cost is going to be passed on to the consumer, the user, the employee.
We've seen that so many times. In fact, next week,
always the way.
When we do that parallel on Trump and Harris, we should dedicate a bit of time to the budget and what it means for our listeners and viewers.
Absolutely.
Just, kind of top line, not just information, but going into a bit more detail about what they could do, what they should do, what they should be thinking about
Yeah.
As opposed to this is going up, this is going up, this is going down, this is frozen. That's all in the news, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what does that actually
But what
mean?
does that actually mean? Because there's a lot of
Yeah, we'll do that next week as well.
what I like to call legalese used, very political speak. That, let's be honest, unless you're in that sphere, it kind of all just sounds all the same. And so, that's where we're at. But this week on Wealth Made Simple, with all of that in mind, and the hard path, the easy path, every path is hard. You've just got to pick your hard. And I want to clear up some misconceptions. So the first one is that working hard is often considered a key ingredient for success. And it is, but it doesn't guarantee success. Working hard in isolation is not going to get you there.
No.
And it never will.
I used to do a whole presentation on money and how money moves. I don't know whether you've ever seen that presentation.
I have.
Yeah. And one of the slides was hard work alone doesn't attract money. Because if you think about it, if we're talking about hard work, it could be argued that manual labor, working in fields, when the temperature outside is 40, 45 degrees, sometimes higher, and other types of manual work, more so in developing countries when the conditions aren't that great, you don't have that many workers' rights, employment rights, and everything else, health and safety. Some of the jobs and work is dangerous. They work damn hard.
Yeah.
They should be rich if working hard alone was the single factor, and as you said, it isn't.
No,
it's a core ingredient.
Yeah,
and I think we ought to work hard. I know people talk about don't work hard, work smart. You got to work hard to get to the smart.
Yeah.
And even the smart people work hard. They just work hard at the stuff they're good at.
Exactly. And I mean,
the guy you were referring to a few minutes ago always talks about that.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely he does. For example, if you're going to be, because it's a subject everyone knows, I know, social media, marketing, that side of things, if you spend time crafting a really good 30-minute piece, you've got to put the time in, you've got to put the hard work in. But here's where the smart comes in. You craft that 30-minute piece, and that 30-minute piece can be cut into 5-minute segments, 30-second snippets. It can be used for the next month to cover all your social media, because you just put out a bit each day and you maximize the time you spend recording it, but you've got to put the hard work in first. That's where work smart, not hard comes from. Doing things like that. Using that one piece of content for all of your social media.
The pillar post, the pillar content, and
evergreen content,
and it covers everything, doesn't it? Because as you said, slice and dice.
Yep.
And then you got YouTube Shorts, for example. We're not going to go into every single platform, but you got YouTube Shorts. Then you can have Instagram posts. Then you can even do
Reels,
Snapchat. You can do TikTok. You can do Facebook. You can do LinkedIn. Because recorded content can obviously be transcribed, and then it's a blog.
Exactly.
Article, so on and so forth. And people, I don't have enough content. Hey, you've got more content.
You've got more content than you realise.
And you think and you realise, But once you get that big pillar post, as you said, or the pillar content, then you're good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I say that.
So that's I think a near perfect example of hard and smart. So you worked hard, spending 6-10 hours, because I know you probably know how long it takes, because you used to do those for me. And once you've done that, the smart bit is then slice and dice.
Yes, exactly that. And I mean, as long as you spend time and you've got good content to begin with, but you've got to spend the time, you've got to work hard. I mean, there are some factors that are outside your control, the political side of it, the economics of the world that are going on, things like that. Industry trends, market demands, unforeseen events such as, global lockdowns.
Yes.
I mean, never had one of those before. So even if you are working as hard, as hard as you can and as smart as you can, you can't mitigate the unforeseen. You can't. You just can't. So,
or the law of unintended consequences.
Yeah.
You do something and something else happened which you didn't think of. Had you not done the first thing, the second thing wouldn't have happened, type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And these are interesting challenges, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's fascinating to look at how people deal with these things. It's like so last night I was working late. Shock horror, I know. Everybody's surprised to hear that. But one of our studios, the engineer arrived and had forgotten their keys. And so couldn't get in the building. Okay. For them to get home and back is a 2-hour round trip. They'd left the keys at home, round and back, 2-hour round trip. That's not acceptable for us. For the business that we're in, we have timelines and deadlines. We can't afford to
take 4 hours out. Yeah.
Exactly. So I said to them, okay, so what's the solution? You can't use public transport to get home. You don't drive. So you're going to have to either get an Uber back at your cost because, this is your mistake. You need to deal with it. Or you need to contact other members of your team and see if anyone's close at hand with a key that can get here quicker. As it turned out, one of her colleagues was already in the building, was able to open up the doors, let us in. But, and this was kind of the lesson for them is, and, in fairness, they are quite young. This is their first job out of uni. The lesson there, though, was if you make a mistake, the mistake is not the problem. The mistake is never the problem. It's how you deal with it.
Yep.
It's what the solution is. Standing on the front door, crying at me, and telling me that the sky is falling, isn't a solution. And I'm gonna pick on you for that, and tell you that's not
for
the path,
their benefit.
That's not the path we're going down. I need you to stop, take a step back, breathe. Right. What are the options? What are the solutions? Because the solution is not, oh, well, we're all going to have to go home. That's not the solution.
That's not 4 hours. That's 4 hours times however many people.
Yeah.
And then all the lost revenue.
Exactly. And, but to my mind, and, I went through this with them, because it's always good if you can have a learning opportunity. It's always good to...
Every day's a school day.
Exactly that. Is get an Uber, go home, come back. Yes, it's going to cost you, £75, £100 to do that, but
you'll probably never forget the key.
You'll never forget your key again. That's the cost and the consequence of your mistake. You contact your colleagues, see if anyone's close by, get a winning result. Great. Or if it's going to take too long for you to get an Uber and get home, then you pay for a locksmith to come out. But either way, those are three instant solutions to a problem. And I appreciate when you have caused the issue, sometimes you go inside of yourself and it's difficult.
How many young guys?
And when you're young, everything is the end of the world. And I understand that. But those are some hard decisions to make. What are we going to do? I don't want to look like a failure in front of my colleagues, so I don't really want to talk to them. I don't want to have to go home because that's, one, very expensive, but two, I've then got to spend all that time and stuff. 3, get a locksmith out. Well, that's going to mean that the entire company, whoever's got keys to this door, is going to need a new key, and that's going to be at my expense.
Yeah.
But you had to pick your hard. Which hard did you want to pick? In the end, they picked contact everyone else, see if anyone's about.
And it worked.
And it worked out.
Good.
So happy ending, good learnings. But that's about working. That right there is working smart, not hard. Going back to working hard, if you work hard, but your hard work isn't in alignment with your goals and your skills, there are certain things that you are very, very good at. But
like listening to you.
Yeah, you are excellent at listening to me. but there are certain things that I can't, that you can do that I can't do. You know,
That applies to everybody, doesn't it?
yeah, exactly. But there are things that I can do that you can't do.
Yeah.
So when you and I approach a project, I do the things I'm good at, you do the things you're good at, and everyone gets a better result. I don't run around trying to do what you can do because I'm not going to be as good at it. And okay,
But you're going to have different qualities, haven't you? Traits, skills to make a team work.
Yeah, exactly.
Not everybody can be a striker.
No.
In the goalkeeper and defenders and midfielders, wingers, so on and so forth.
Every group needs a leader.
Yeah. Which is what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, we were. You can't just wait to be told what to do. But if you are going to wait to be told what to do, then you are going to be working harder because you're always going to be reactive rather than proactive.
Yeah. True that.
You know, so yeah, working hard won't lead to success. Working hard against your own goals won't lead to success. Even more so. Even if you're working
Becomes
smart,
a hamster wheel, a treadmill, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're not anywhere past, are you?
no. Even if you're working smart and hard and you've got a plan in place to make it successful, if you're working against your own personal alignment and your own personal goals, and this comes down to knowing yourself, knowing what you want, what you're good at, which path you want to be on. If you don't know that first, I would say learn who you are as a person first.
It's so important, because when I started, there was no real goal setting for me. That goal setting existed. You just get on with it and just do stuff, and then you learn about all these things and you implement them and they work, and then you get busy again and they fall off the radar.
Yeah.
And then you pick them up again. And whenever I've set clear goals and followed through with the objectives, I always set goals. We've achieved better results.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get crazy manic, as you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
With stuff going on, and you think, mate, I'm going to park all this up and just deal with the problems. If the house is on fire, you fix it, don't you? You don't go on looking for your valuables here, there, whatever.
No, you fix the fire first.
Yeah, get out first, make sure everybody's safe, and then, okay, let's deal with that. So you've just got to prioritize what's in front of you. Sometimes people say, this isn't the right time for me because there's something major going on. And I get that.
Absolutely, I get that. But it's interesting, isn't it, that the higher up you get in terms of where you want your success to lead you, the goals become bigger, they become more audacious, but it becomes more important to understand goal setting yourself, for lack of a better terminology, a lot of British people do see it as very American, very woo-woo, very, talk to yourself, self-growth, personal development.
Go and hug a tree and give yourself a pat on the back, yeah.
Yeah, and as we both know, neither of us are up for hugging a tree and giving ourselves a pat on the back. We're all there for, putting our back to the lash and making the whip work, but in the controlled and constructive way, developing ourselves at a higher level, and then that becomes so much more important the further down the path you go.
You said something interesting. You said the higher up one goes, the bigger and audacious their goals become.
Yes.
Have they got to that place because they set bigger and audacious goals in the first place?
Yes, but if I said to you, your goal next year is to make £100,000, £100,000 for some people is a massive, big, audacious goal. However, if you know, and you've done it before, that you can make £100,000 in a month, for example, then for you, that goal, over a year, £100,000, it's not a goal. It's a way of life. So when you say, okay, I'm going to make 10 million this year, okay, now that's a big, audacious goal if you're not making that amount. And it keeps things in perspective. A big goal will always be a big goal depending on where you're from and where you're at. But it's got to be a big goal comparative to where you're at.
So keep making it big.
Always make it big.
Yeah, I agree. Add a zero at the end.
Yeah, or just add an extra zero. I wouldn't double your income, double your time off.
Yeah.
Completely doable.
This comes back to what you said earlier in terms of your colleague forgetting the key or a key.
Yep.
And then you came up with 3 possible scenarios or solutions, and there would be others if you sit down and think about it.
Yeah.
One of them would be, I'd say, anybody good at opening locks?
Yeah.
And when you add a zero here, and then you think, now how am I going to get to that? Your list of things you should do, you could do, you must do, will get longer.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
it has to.
If you and I said we're going to get to 100,000
Yep.
within in a month, okay, or a year, we might list out, let's say, 10 things. Okay? Yeah. If you and I then say, let's go for 1 million now, naturally, we're going to add more things on there. That's 10 times as much. So, okay, we don't do 10 times as much work, but there's a lot more things that need to take place. Once you've got that list now, apply that to the 100 grand.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to smash it.
Yeah. And then you'll be surprised at how quickly you smash it.
Yeah.
And that
yeah,
is working smart.
And that's the power of goal setting, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. But I have found in my experience that most people don't do goal setting. The majority of people don't. The majority of wake up, go to work. Someone said to me this week, the problem with being an adult in this country is that you're constantly saying, I've just got to get through this week. Every week. And that's every week. I've just got to get through this week, then things will look up. I've just got to get through this week. And people just look at the week ahead. You know, it's coming up to the Christmas break.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I both do goal setting during the Christmas break.
Mm-hmm.
And we start looking at the year ahead.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do for the next year? What are we going to do here? And that is goal setting, objectives, timelines, deadlines, all of that. And we'll spend, a week setting that, a week doing that over the Christmas period.
Yeah.
And some of my friends think I'm crazy for doing that. But
compare notes.
Let's compare notes about my year to their year.
There you go.
And
it's that old adage, isn't it? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Yep. And I mean, I'm going to be working really hard up until Christmas, and then I'm off to Dubai.
Are you going to see? Lucky boy.
Going back. So that will be fun.
Same place?
Yeah, same place, same work. And I mean, it's a work trip, but
yeah, nice place to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially for a few days and New Year and everything else. Yeah,
exactly.
Good for you, my friend.
But yeah, so I'm going to bring this all back down to working hard or working smart and being on the right path, because each path you pick, whatever path you pick, is hard, and we've always said that. And this is where the personal development, self-development really, really does start to kick in, is understanding that if you just work hard, you'll burn yourself out because you're working hard frantically without a goal. If you've set goals that are aligned with your skill and with your passion and with where you want to go, you've started working smarter and hard, on that, then you're not likely to stop after a month, 2 months, 3 months and go, it's just too much. I've got too much on my plate. I can't spin this many plates. I'm burnt out. I need to take some time for me, because you'll automatically incorporate that in, because you won't be running yourself ragged just to catch up or to chase something that isn't really aligned for you. I mean, you and I both work, let's be realistic, a few hours a week. And if you broke that down, that probably works out across the year we probably do 6 days a week across the year on average. But we both enjoy what we do.
That's why we keep doing it.
We keep doing it. So there is no burnout. There is no, I need to take a step back. I need to take a break. I need to go, on a 4-month holiday. And
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice. But I think a week in, we'll both get...
We'll go back to work.
Yeah. You manage a week, maybe 2 at best.
Yeah.
But that's the difference between working hard towards an aligned goal and working hard towards somebody else's goal. Because if you're not working towards your own goal, you're working towards somebody else's. And on that bombshell, we're going to go and take a quick break. I hope you have enjoyed the episode, and you'll join us after this short break.
See you shortly.
See you shortly.
Peterborough's community radio station, Salam Radio, 106.2 FM.
You're listening to Salam Radio, and it's now time for Isha Azan. This Azan is sponsored by UK Islamic Mission, serving humanity since 1962.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر، الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم، وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم بك نحيا وبك نموت وإليك المصير. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وصحبه وسلم.
This is Salam Radio, Peterborough's Muslim community radio. Broadcasting on 106.2 FM and online.
Salam, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Kieron Bateman. I'm here with
Shaz Nawaz.
And this is Wealth Made Simple. We've been talking about the right path for you and which path you should. Well, I say you should. Every path is hard. And we've just been discussing the different variances of hardness and what makes a path a successful path, even if it's hard, or whether you are going to work hard and pick a hard path that's going to not fulfill you. Because I think that's an important thing. Feel free to get in touch with the show. We'd love to hear from you. You can call us on 01733 602 133. You can text us on 07411 191 062. Or you can comment on any of the live streams on Facebook, YouTube, X, or Twitch. So, yeah,
I think
that's where we're at.
On our previous episode, we started with valuing contentment. I think that's so important, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yeah, you've got to
know what you want, be okay with it, and crack on. Easier said than done.
Oh, far easier said than done. And don't apologise for it.
No.
I've always said that, one of my goals is to be a millionaire. Multi-millionaire, to be precise. I believe the term is Deca millionaire. Yep. And I know in myself I will achieve that.
I know you will.
I don't know exactly how I'll achieve it, but I know I will.
And the how's not important.
The how's not important.
It comes.
Exactly.
It comes.
But that is something that, and I'm content with that, and I make no apology for that. And I've spoken to people, and they ask me, if I've got any goals, aspirations, whatever, and I tell them that. And I've had some people
say, greedy so you're talking about money all you.
Well, yeah, there's that, and I have people tell me, yeah, but why do you need so much? No, my response is generally, well, why don't you? Well, you can live comfortably. Yeah, you can.
So you've got 2 friends left, have you? And I'm one of them.
yeah, exactly that. There's a reason I work so much. But that's just it.
It's like our IT
support.
He and I've talked about this.
And he is fantastic at what he does.
And 2006, I think when we started working with him, 18 years. And he's been the same. He says, Shaz, this is how much money I want. Okay, and if I get that, all bills paid, relaxed, I get 1 or 2 holidays, I'm cool with that. I said, how do you do it? And he says to me, I wish I could be more like you. And I wish I could be a bit more like you.
Yeah.
But we both understand that's not how we're wired. We're wired in a different way and just crack on. But he's content.
Yeah.
He knows what he wants.
And he is one of the nicest individuals.
He's a lovely guy.
I absolutely love talking to him. And generally, if there's a problem, I'll ring him up and we'll spend the next hour on the phone.
Yeah.
20 minutes of that is work. And then it's having a cup of tea.
Smart
and
guy,
incredibly smart.
Engineer by trade, as you know. But he's in a good place.
Yes.
Because he's cool, relaxed. I mean, he hardly ever gets annoyed, flustered, whatever. Hardly ever moans. Because he's been through life. And he's figured out what he wants, and he's cool with it.
And that is one of the key aspects, isn't it? Is he has enough for him, and he knows what he wants and what he needs, and as long as he can do what he wants, he's happy. And he is genuinely a happy individual, isn't he?
He's lovely. He's a very good man.
And that's the thing, and that's fantastic. But how long has it taken him to get to that position? He didn't wake up at 21 and go, this is what I need.
No, he worked hard. He paid up his mortgage. Once that was done,
I need this much.
Got divorced.
Yep.
And then kind of started again, and then got to a place that this is what I want, and he just sticks to that. And it's cool. And if you ask me, he says, oh yeah, I could do with 1 or 2 more clients. Chance, if they come in, they come. They don't come, don't worry about it. And he just cracks on and just looks after the clients he's got. And he's in a good place. And you and I are not wired that way.
No.
And we'll be ramming it down. People sort more. Some people say, I don't want more. So I think the point is just, like you said, get to know yourself and set whatever you want to achieve and achieve it and be okay with it.
Yeah.
And not being okay is okay as well sometimes.
Yeah. It's and that's the other thing is, in amongst all of this, people become terrified of failure.
No, big time.
Failure is one of the greatest teachers. You learn more from failure than you do from success.
I think it was Tom Watson, the founder by IBM. If you want to be successful,
double your failure rate. Yeah, absolutely. But we are taught, and I mean this is something that I think I'm gonna. This may upset some people, so I apologise. I'm going to get myself in trouble. But this is the fault of parents. You need to get grade A's. You need to get straight A's. You need to do best. You need to succeed. You need to succeed. You need to... And there are a lot
of... stop watching all those Jordan Peterson videos.
I know, right? But children do get conditioned to want to succeed, to impress their parents. How many parents can... And I understand that it's difficult. You know, if your kid's messing around and not working and they're failing, that's one thing. But if they've tried their best and they still haven't succeeded, then turn it into a lesson. Don't berate them for it. Do you know what I mean? Teach them that it's okay to fail. Because, do you know what? It's a long life and you're going to fail a lot.
Well, it's the whole thing about Silicon Valley. So many of those big jobs go to people who've actually had a big failure in their lives or gone bankrupt.
Yeah.
Because you've now seen adversity.
Yeah.
You now know how to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's the thing. Be okay with failure.
There's adversity around every single corner.
And the
big,
world,
small, however you want to see it, you know.
The world is going to change, and it's going to change quick.
Oh yeah, when the internet came in, we thought, oh, this is
a fad.
Yeah, and then when they got used to it, oh, it's just a big shift, and obviously through that you've had social media, so on and so forth, online shopping. But the next phase, this one coming, is going to be nuts.
Oh, absolutely.
With the stuff that Mr. X is doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at...
with AI and everything else, I mean, it's going to be incredible.
Oh, it's going to be absolutely incredible. There's an interview when the internet first sort of started with David Bowie. You know the one I mean? Where he extols that it's virtuous, it's amazing, it's going to be transformative, it's terrifying, and if we don't look at what we're doing, it could be catastrophic. But overall... it's a phenomenal thing, and it's just going to grow and change the world.
Wonderful guy to study, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely, I mean, yes.
Brilliant music, and yep. I like it. I think you do as well.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I absolutely love the music.
But
he was great in Labyrinth as well.
He was, wasn't he? But the amount of times he reinvented himself.
Yeah.
Because reinvention is such a important business trait.
Yes, it is.
And I think he was one of the masters like that.
There's so much you could learn.
He kept evolving and changing, and that's why he's had such a good career and long career.
I would agree with that. Yeah. But I think it's fascinating that if a lot of people are always resistant to change, and change is a part of life. You know, I mean, you look at when you and I were growing up, there was no internet.
No.
You know, the only phone you had in the house was connected to the socket, and you know, the dial on it, and 9, 8.
You see people who have a padlock on it as well.
Yeah. Rotary phone. Yeah. So you couldn't wander around the house with it, and it wasn't. You know, it was what, the late 80s sort of time where you start getting household aerial telephones. And
cordless and so on and so forth.
Cordless, and we used to play swords with those antennas.
All the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what they were before, weren't they?
Absolutely. Yeah, it was.
We were being resourceful, that's what we were.
Yeah. You know, my parents weren't going to buy me a real sword, so I made one. Probably for the best, actually, thinking about it. But the point is that times have changed so much since then. And I'm now going to go off on a tangent.
And talk about inefficient methods and approaches.
Yes and
Go on.
no. No, yes and no. So something you said there was interesting. I'm going to latch onto it. Is kids are resourceful. You kind of lose that sometimes as an adult, don't you? You overthink things, and you start worrying about what other people are going to do and what other people are going to say and what other people are going to think about you, and suddenly it limits what you can do. Children don't have that limit.
Embarrassment.
Children have.
In a nutshell.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
It is. But find that resourcefulness again. Find that turning your mobile phone with an extension into a sword. Find that you've just finished wrapping up the Christmas presents and you've now got a lightsaber. Find that excitement.
Adventure.
Yeah.
Go into a classroom and ask a child or choose them and say, come to the front of the classroom and they sing a song. Now, they're not going to be, they might not be excited about it. They might do, but they might not be just picked randomly. Most people don't like singing.
No.
I mean, okay. Now, take the same number of people, aged 40, pick one person, come to the front room, sing.
Absolutely
Come to
not.
the front, you're going to do well to get them to sing. Most people won't do it.
No.
And that's the difference.
I'm
The
gonna make
child will have a laugh, go with it, and have fun. As we're older, I don't get embarrassed. And really, no one's going to judge you if you sing a song at the front. Because most of us aren't very good at singing.
No.
Do you see what I mean? And it's that, you're right. You said, just be intrigued, go on that adventure.
Yeah.
Explore.
And I think that's important with that point you were just making.
Mm-hmm.
Is that,
No, it is, you're right, yeah. With outdated techniques or fear, thinking you'll be judged, or not having, proper strategy, and
Yeah.
everything not being interlinked, intertwined. All of these things are linked. When you set your goals, everything then links with it in terms of your vision and your strategy and your tactics, and then you break it down into obviously your goals, and then you break that down into different tasks, actions, responsibilities, so on and so forth. It all connects.
Yeah.
And it can become a reasonably well-oiled machine. Nothing's ever perfect.
No. But I also think with all of this sort of stuff, it's and this is, I think, where you and I differ from, and people like us differ from people who aren't, essentially, is that my lifestyle is about personal development. It's about learning. It's about working. It's about growing a network. It's about improving. It's about business. That's my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't something that I turn up on a Monday, I do my job for 8 hours, 9 hours, I go home, I walk out the door, I forget the job exists for that short brief period of time between Monday and Tuesday. I do the same again on Tuesday, and I look forward to Friday when I've got my freedom. And I say that in inverted commas. My freedom, it's my time to do with what I want. Well, no.
That's because you're investing.
Yes.
That's what you're doing.
In my future.
Yeah. And then you kind of surround yourself with people like that, and they then share with you what they're doing. You think, I could do more as well.
One of the hardest things I ever did was limit my time with certain friends.
It is hard, you're right.
And don't get me wrong, I haven't, they haven't stopped being my friends, anything like that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. You just move on, don't you?
But I have chosen intentionally to limit the amount of access they have to me or the amount of time I am willing to spend with them. Not to be mean, but because I understand that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So I want to spend more time with people like you, with people, that are growing, that have aligned goals, that are trying to progress in the same manner that I am. People that have been there, that have done that. Because if you start with nothing and you find yourself, and it's the ideal, it's the goal, isn't it? For most people, it'll never happen. But if you find yourself 5 friends that are all millionaires and they're talking about business ventures, entrepreneurship, development, personal development, that kind of thing, the conversations are different.
I received something.
But you will become the 6th millionaire if you only hang around with other millionaires.
A rising tide raises all boats, as you know.
Exactly.
I received something from one of my mentors who I've done a lot of work with in the United States. So I'll read a short paragraph. I think it's helpful.
Is this who I think it is?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It says, ever feel like you're surrounded by people who just don't get it? You know the type. They're perfectly fine with good enough, content with mediocrity, and have no interest in pushing boundaries or taking risks. Even worse, Kieron, some of these people actively criticize your ambitions, pressuring you to settle for their own version of average.
Oh, that's powerful.
And he says, if you're serious about success as an entrepreneur, being in this kind of environment is dangerous. Success isn't just about having the right strategies or information, which is what you and I talk about. It's also about who you surround yourself with, which is the point you were making.
Yeah.
Most
really
people are heavily influenced by their environment, and you and I don't believe that to be true. Only a rare few, maybe 1 to 5% of entrepreneurs have the ability to tune out the noise, ignore the naysayers, which is very hard to do, as you know, and relentlessly pursue success despite the peer pressure to conform to their friends and the people around them. These are the unicorns, the people who thrive in isolation, immune to criticism from family and friends, employees, or trade associates, so on and so forth. For the rest of us, we need the right environment. We need to be surrounded by people who think big, which is what you were talking about, act boldly, and aspire to the same level of success we do. You need a community designed for prosperity where renegade entrepreneurs come together to challenge the status quo and talk about real success, which is the 5 people you were talking about.
Yep.
It's a place where you must surround yourself with people who push hard, think differently, and defy industry norms. Then he goes on to talk about Jerry Rice, the NFL player.
Yeah.
And he's saying, if you surround yourself with 85%, with 80% or 95% thinkers, it becomes incredibly difficult to maintain the mindset and habits of a 5% entrepreneur. And you want to be in the 5%. We all want to be in the 5%. It's why you need to be in a community, one that moves away from mediocre behavior and attracts those who aim for greatness. It says that's what it's all about. Is in create space where only those serious about becoming millionaires gather, and design it to keep out anyone who doesn't fit.
Yep.
Or isn't interested. He says, find the community that strengthens your resolve against mediocrity, ensuring you stay on track to think and act like the top 1% of entrepreneurs. And I think just that alone, Kieron, that alone will get most people, if they get into that environment, to start doing stuff. Because, if you and I are around stockbrokers or investors, Bitcoin, gold, I'm telling you, within 1 or 2 months, I mean, you and I are a bad example because after 24 hours we'll be doing it. But most people,
so true,
will start investing in gold
and then
Bitcoin.
We'll be spending the next 6 months learning whilst making mistakes, but we'll have already started.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you surround yourself with people, if you're around millionaires, for example, I'm not saying everybody should aspire to be a millionaire. Like I said, you choose whatever you want. We're just sharing information and strategies and so forth, so on and so forth. But if you surround yourself with millionaires, you just listen to their conversations because they're your 5 pals, buddies, mates, whatever. You're soon going to be thinking, what are they doing? property, gold, Bitcoin, here, there. They've got their own business. They've got 2 streams of income, 3 streams of income. And as you hear stuff, okay, through pure osmosis,
Yeah.
you're going to get this bug. Say, I want to do some of this stuff here. And guess what? Those 5
Will
are
help
gonna say,
you.
Will help you because you're our pal.
Yeah, yeah, and it's interesting because I have friends that don't have that mindset, but they still come to me for advice. You know, something's going on, something's big. They want to try something that.
Well, that's a good thing, yeah.
They'll come to advice, and then I come to my mentors, people like yourself, you know, other people, and ask them for advice, and you know, and you go to your mentors,
Yeah.
and you know,
We all have a
and
mentor. everybody.
everyone has a mentor.
Yeah.
You know, but the worst thing you can do, and I got told I was wrong a couple of weeks ago, and I found that really interesting because I knew I wasn't, but
You should tell them you're right.
I did, but the reason they told me I was wrong, and that I was in the wrong, and that in general I would always be wrong, is because they had a very closed mindset. They didn't want to learn. They knew what they knew. They knew enough to know that what they thought they knew. They knew
They know
well enough.
everything, don't they?
Exactly.
A little bit of knowledge.
Little bit of knowledge
Yeah.
is very, very dangerous. And so I didn't argue with them about whether or not I was wrong. I asked why. Explain to me why you're right. If I'm wrong, explain to me why you are right. Well, because I am. Okay, but explain it. Because I can explain to you why I'm right in this situation. I can explain where I'm going, how this is working, how this works. I can explain everything. I can explain my thought process. Yeah, but you're wrong. Okay, yeah, but why? And they weren't asking questions.
If you can't explain it, that means you don't know it well enough in the first place. Or you can't explain it simply enough.
If you can't explain it to a 5-year-old, you don't understand it.
It's easy to say to people, oh, you're wrong there. Naysayers. They're the ones who criticize.
Exactly. But,
I like them because I need something in my life.
Yeah.
To
balance.
Yeah, to balance, and as mean as it might sound to some people, prove them wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wrong.
But it's interesting because we got talking after, you know, they accepted that they couldn't answer any of the questions, and I was like, the whole reason I was in the wrong is because I'm not part of the echo chamber. Because I've got a different point of view, I'm making them think, and I'm making them question things, and that's dangerous. We don't like that.
You like that as well, and as you've seen, I don't participate that much. I know you do it for laughs and giggles.
I do
sometimes,
but I also enjoy people making me question things.
Yeah, I don't mind that bit. Yeah, but as you know, I gave up a while ago.
Yeah.
Can't be bothered anymore.
Yeah.
Because they're not interested, if you know what I mean.
No,
if
they're
they're interested, they'll find their way, and we'll sit down, and as you know,
Yeah.
we'll help them out. But you're right. It's that closed mindset.
Yeah. The second you stop asking questions and stop being willing to learn something new, and that's the thing is, and the whole point of that story is echo chambers. Is everyone surrounds themselves with people that they want to be like them, or that they want to be like. So they will surround themselves with echoes of what they want to hear.
Coming back to your earlier point again, the most common word used by children very often, especially in their formative years, why? Yeah, so I think we need to carry that on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's 2 very powerful words in the English language. Why? But.
Yes.
But changes the whole thing, doesn't it? And why gets you to explore. And the why, it just keeps asking why. I mean, if you go to 14, 15 levels deep, why? You get to the kind of real core of what you're looking for. Sometimes it might be 20, 25, 30 times, by the way.
Yeah.
But you got to keep asking why. It's an interesting exercise that people don't do often enough.
But I think
or don't know about.
And just a final point, I think it's and I'm as guilty of this as anyone. But sometimes you, in the heat of the moment, you get heated and you just want to bite back and be like, no. And catch yourself thinking. And the second you get into that closed mindset, because we all do it, we all get antagonized. Take a step back and go, actually, why are you saying that? Okay, I'm interested to hear your opinion. I'm not going to get angry about this. But it's very difficult and you need a lot of self-discipline to be able to take emotion out of it all the time.
And you learn sometimes as well.
Yeah.
I see sometimes you learn quite often.
Yeah, exactly. And that is basically sums the whole lot up, doesn't it? Ask questions and learn.
All the time.
That's what I love. That's what I love about the show. The show encourages us to ask questions.
And do research.
Yeah. And so next week, we'll talk about the races.
Yeah, that's right.
Till then, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.